Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel, whether you're new or you're coming back. Today we're gonna do a quick check-in for the masculine and feminine energy. Tomorrow I'm gonna do a longer read because I'll be covering full moon in Virgo. Yes, that's coming up on Saturday. But today let's just see what's going on with the twins, feminine, masculine energy, and what are the messages between them. And as always, we're starting with the Oracle deck. It's the Sacred Traveler Oracle. And the first card is going to be for Divine Feminines watching. I hope you guys are doing great. All right, let's see, 2 cards. Okay, wonderful. Infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. And narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. Yeah, so quite different messages, right? So I would say just be careful with your emotions and also expectations. Like, don't jump too far too quickly, right? Like, it's great to acknowledge the abundance as it's coming in, but it's also important to still keep your baseline at neutrality, right? And basically be open to receive, be open to whatever comes in. For some, I'm also getting that there may be some choices you'll need to make to, for example, not move as quickly as you thought, or rephrase your goals, right? So it's still abundance and everything, right? But it would not necessarily follow the plan that you originally had. So be ready for that as well. Or don't think that if it's not happening exactly like you planned, that for some reason it's worse, so it's a punishment or something, right? You're trusting the divine plan. That's how it works out. That's how you step into alignment and everything starts falling together. For masculines, we have vast vistas. Expand your horizons. I love how he's getting out of the box. Like, literally getting yourself out of the box in whatever situation you are, right? Being able to see things from a different perspective. I've seen that Hangman energy for feminines actually lately, so it's kind of refreshing to see masculines now reconsidering. You see how that synchronicity works, kind of like one twin had that energy, now another one. And now the masculines are considering. Reconsidering because they're trying to find a solution to a problem. For some, it's the relationship, the connection. For other, and wanting something more, something better. For others, it's something connected with business. For another group, it's connected with somebody that they have responsibility for. And they don't see any obvious good solution, right? That's kind of part of the point of the story, of that experience. But they're supposed to learn and do something different, like learn from it. And if they keep insisting on doing it the same way, they're gonna get the tower moment. So yeah, they're kind of at the point where they understand that what they had in mind or what they used to do before is just not gonna cut it this time. I don't know, maybe they could sweet talk their way out of a problem. Talk somebody into doing something, right? And that would solve it. And now they understand that it's not gonna happen with this person, or they've heard the story too many times before and you know it's just not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna be using the Muse Tarot for my main read. The Ace of Emotions in reverse. Yes, this is like going introspectively to find source of love. So it's very interesting. It's like, you know, there is that fire inside, right? That kind of source of love. But sometimes it's about finding ways to connect to it, right? Or to tap into it. There we go. Since it's a cup of water, then, you know, symbolically speaking, then that's a better way to say it. Like, how do we have access to those resources? And you know, there are days when we are pouring into it because we have that access, right? And we are doing great. And there are days where it's not so great and we really need to tap into it to get that energy, to get that life force. King of Wands here. Yeah, do it in a long-term way, so it's not just like a one-off. You don't just drain yourself of that energy and then have nothing spare for the rainy day or something, right? Or to share with other people around you, right? Like it has to be like not a repeatable process necessarily, but something that replenishes, you know. For feminines, you have two inspiration clarified by the world, and I like the actual like rounds or openings, if you wish, in both of these cards. Very interesting. Yeah, so this is and to me this is much smaller than this, right? Like this expands. So to me it's about the expansion of your worldview and wanting to go out there and play big. That's what I'm getting. The world, of course, is also the closure of the old cycle and not wanting to repeat the same thing, and that's very much gonna get on you stronger this coming days with the full moon energy. But yeah, essentially it's like, you know, I've tried a certain way many times, or like more than once, and it wasn't necessarily bad, but I'm ready for something much bigger and better, right? So this is like being open to experimenting and trying new things. Like look at this telescope here, for example. This is like seeing very far, and again, this is like, okay, I'm usually maybe seeing things like without the telescope, just what my naked eye can see. But then, you know, like right now I'm at the point where I want to use the tools at my disposal, right? Or I want to get maybe somebody else's view on this too, right? Somebody who's done it more better, like maybe they're more successful or they've been doing it for a long time, and I can get new perspective and I can see much farther away of how this can develop and grow. For a lot of people, I get this is connected with business and work. For others, it's even about personal growth, right? And what you can achieve, expanding your gifts and skills, right? Figuring out what gives you the most joy, right? Maybe you have a hobby that you enjoy and you are at a certain level, and maybe you've been plateauing for a while. Now they really want to step into it and do more with it and be more. For masculines, we see Page of Voices clarified by Ace of Pentacles. Very interesting Page of Voices, isn't it? So what I'm getting is masculines are taking a page from the feminine's book of not being afraid to step outside of their comfort zone, right? And show up in different modes, in different visions, right? Like in very different roles, right? And like exploring different parts of their personality and this reality, right? Because this is also in the physical. So this is not just like daydreaming, right? It's like, yeah, why can I not be, you know, presented to the world in like 10 different ways, right? Today I'm in this mode, in this image, you know, in this character, let's put it that way. Tomorrow I'm somebody else, right? Or maybe I can be 3 different personas on the same day, depending on what I'm doing and who I'm with, right? So this is like them now trying to see how they can be versatile, how they can explore different parts of their personality, and understanding that if they are a certain way, let's say among their friends, the way they behave, the way they talk, like they, I don't know, the traditions they have, what they do together, it doesn't mean that they cannot be very different way, like in some other surrounding. For example, with family and children, or I don't know, when they are picking up the hobby that may not necessarily comply with that group and what they do. Maybe they wouldn't even approve of it, but it's like, you know, that's also part of me and I want this, it's important to me. So help with that, like those people who may disapprove, right? I want to look at myself in this capacity. I want to see what it feels like, even if I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna like it. Additional question, the Empress and Ace of Swords. Beautiful. These are the new beginnings. We saw this actually in the coming days. And it's interesting that it's still very, very relevant. It's like what are we really truthfully want to create in this lifetime with the energy and the gifts that we have. For feminines, we have strength clarified by Queen of Swords. Yeah, this is like this concept, and I love that they're looking at the same direction, and they're both women here, so very much representation of feminine energy. To be authentically you, to have that courage and strength to be yourself, not to comply with trends, with what's in fashion right now, with what people will consider successful or beautiful, but being 100% you as much as possible, honestly, unapologetically. And that on its own is such a strong energy that it, like, energetically, it creates that wave, that echo, it impacts people. And also from like that example, from that character, from the way you position yourself, people are gonna be watching that, and they're gonna start rethinking their mindset, their belief system on this, both feminines and masculines, and that's equally important. Wow, for masculines we have 8 of Materials in reverse, clarified by 4 Wands. And for masculines, they are reinventing the concept of like the work and the status to be in the forefront of what masculine energy is about, what the masculine is about, right? And this, like, look at it, it's union, right? Like, it's who they are with, it's how they are in connection with close people. It doesn't have to be just the feminine. Of course, that's the most vivid example, and I can assure you that that's exactly what they're thinking about. But in reality, it's like that with other close people as well, right? Like, that would be an example of like, is that a man of honor or a woman, you know, the masculine? And what that person will be showing off about, right? What they will be showing to the world, trying to get their message across, and how to be this man, woman of honor. And yes, and that still means different roles. Breadwinner, husband, friend, business partner, father, son, and of course everything, you know, for the feminine, for the women that associate as masculine energy, right? That still stands, and that's fine. But that's really about the quality of this, the quality of that relationship, and how much you lift each other up, and how much that's the true treasure. Not the work that you do, not the money that you get or the titles that you get, but this, the connection with people, the community. Message from feminine to masculine. The High Priestess in reverse, clarified. I did have a lot of cards in reverse in this deck, and I realized that halfway through the shuffling. But I think it is there for a reason, so I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna read it this way. The High Priestess in reverse, clarified by 5 of Wands. So feminines can sense that masculines are maybe lacking some like deeper vision on the situation. They're getting too hung up into the and that's between them, I mean, right? Whatever happened recently, or maybe even a long time ago, they want to overcome something or to find an explanation to that story. And they can't do it right now. Like, that's the struggle, that's the anxiety, and that's what feminine feels. But what feminine is trying to say is that you're looking too much on it from a surface level, from a very 3D level. And that's not who we are. It's not how we operate. And that's usually not necessarily what your life lessons are. Like, maybe they start that way, but it goes so much deeper, and that's what you're supposed to be learning. To look much deeper than what your eyes can see, or not to compare necessarily to previous situations, right? Because there is something bigger here that you're not considering. Like, things that cannot just be said or done in the physical, right? Like, it's the energy, it's the feelings. That's the High Priestess level of it. That's not being seen, that's not being tapped into. And that's where the answers are going to be. The explanation, the guidance, all of it. Masculines to feminines, 10 of Materials in reverse, clarified by Page of Swords. So masculines are saying that they definitely want to give the 10 of Pentacles to the feminine. And in this deck, it's a lot about, again, community and family, which I was just talking about. But they know they want to do this, staying true to themselves. That's like key to them. And because they're still new to it, right, they're figuring it out first. So it's not like they don't want it, but it may take a minute for them to get there and to be able to give it to you in the physical, because they want to do it right so that they feel worthy, they feel like they're doing it in the most honest, authentic way, and that they are not just thinking of themselves, right? It's the opposite, that they are carrying in this capacity of people who work with them, of you and your family, of their family. You know, it's a very new energy, but they are trying to look at it from a logical perspective still, because that's how masculine operates, right? But it's admirable that they're trying to do it with this new outlook on life. And yes, it takes a minute to reconsider everything you've been doing from this very different perspective. But good job, masculines, for mastering that courage and expanding your horizons. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.